What happens when the person you love the most is trapped inside a dying spacecraft 200 miles above the ground, and you are the only one on Earth who can save them? That's the stunning, heart-stopping promise of Taylor Jenkins' Atmosphere. And trust me, this is unlike anything she has ever written before. No Dizzy Jones guitar solos, no Evelyn Hugo's Hollywood glamour. Instead, we get 1980s NASA, secret, forbidden romance, and ticking clock that will leave you gasping. So if you're ready, grab your spacesuit, because today we are breaking down Atmosphere from its most brilliant dual timeline structure all the way to its deeper literary themes. First of all, let's meet the crew. Our main protagonist is Josh Goodwin, a physics and astronomy professor at Rice University, a classically trained pianist and a loving aunt to her niece Frances. Joanne is one of the first women to be accepted in NASA as astronaut in the late 1970s. Thoughtful, observant, and just beginning to discover who she is outside academia and family duty. Then there's Vanessa Folds, a fiercely independent commercial pilot and aeronautical engineer. Vanessa is determined to pilot a space shuttle despite the relentless sexism of the era. She and Joanne meet during astronaut training, and their secret romance becomes the emotion backbone of the novel. We also get a wonderful ensemble, warm-hearted Diane, competitive Lydia, and Top Gun style pilots Hank and Graf. And on the home front, Joanne's precious niece, Frances, give the story a really wonderful anchor to Earth. But here is where Taylor Jenkins Reid does something brilliant. Let's talk about the structure of the novel. Atmosphere is built on a bridged, non-linear structure that alternates between two timelines, and is done so effectively. Timeline 1, The Crisis, December 29, 1984. The book opens right in the middle of the action. Joanne is working as Capcom, or capsule communicator in mission control. The space shuttle navigator has just suffered a catastrophic malfunctioning during a spacewalk. Several of her closest friends are on board, some unconscious, some dead. Taylor Jenkins Reid threw us straight into the physical and emotional chaos, and it hooks you immediately. Timeline 2, the flashback between 1977 to 1984. When the narrative jumps back to 1977, we follow Joanne's journey from astronomy professor to astronaut candidates through grilling trainings, systemic discriminations, and the slow, stolen glances of her romance with Vanessa. Here is why it works. Every time you see Joanne and Vanessa share a quiet moment of joy in the past, you feel a spark of dread, because you already know that something terrible is waiting for them in 1984. Taylor Jenkins Reid masterfully uses the tension to amplify every single relationship milestone. So what is this book really all about? Atmosphere is a mediation on ambition, identity, and love as an act of defiance. The 1980s setting isn't just window dressing. The sexism and homophobia of the era are constant pressures that shapes every decision Joanne and Vanessa make. When it comes to symbolism, the title Atmosphere works on 3 levels. The literal atmosphere that a spacecraft must re-enter, the social atmosphere, the institutional culture of NASA that tries to exclude women and homosexuals, and the emotional atmosphere between the characters, the invisible but powerful foes that either suffocate or sustain them. When it comes to character development, Joanne's arc is about finding her voice. She starts as an observer, a pianist, a poetry artist who watches the world, and ends as a woman who can speak truth to power, even in mission control. And the romance between Joanne and Vanessa unfolds beautifully under the weight of secrecy, in whispered jokes, handwritten notes, and the constant fear of exposure. Taylor Jenkins Reid never turned it into trauma porn. Instead, she centers their joy and tenderness. Here's something I really respect. Taylor Jenkins Reid spent months in Houston interviewing real astronauts and worked closely with Paul Dyer, a legendary NASA flight director, to get the technical details right. You can feel it on every page. The jargon, the psychology of astronauts, the way a small malfunction can cascade into a life-threatening emergency. It all feels terribly real. And in interviews, Reid has stated that coming out as a bisexual deeply influenced her ability to write this love story. That personal connection shines through. This isn't a street author imagining homosexual pain. It is someone writing from the heart. Now let's talk about the historical tapestry, the 1980s shuttle program that was so fundamental to this novel. So in the real world context, the story is set in the early days of the space shuttle program, a time of national optimism, but also of immense pressure. The 1980s marked the first time women were accepted into the US astronaut corps, and Joanne's experience closely mirrored real-life trailblazers such as Sally Ride. But Taylor Jenkins Reid doesn't ignore the shadows. The Challenger disaster, the Apollo 1 fire, all of that hangs over the novel. When her fictional shuttle navigator started to break down, you feel the weight of those real tragedies. It's a masterclass in using real history to raise the stakes. This is an absolutely wonderful novel. It has been on my radar for quite a long time, and I finally got it from the library, and just over 300 pages, and I finished it in 2 days. It reads like a thriller, and I think it was meant to be like a thriller. From page 1 all the way to the end, you just get this page-turner feeling about this book. What makes this thriller even better is the love story that we have just discussed. And the love story feels so real, so intense. You want them to be alright against all the odds of the era of 1980. Previously, I'm very much indifferent to homosexuals, but now I do feel the hurdles, the inconvenience that they face, and the discriminations that they face every single day. And that's the beauty of reading books, right? It gives you that sense of, it gives you empathy. You are able to step into someone else's shoes and feel their feeling. Talking on the subject of reading books, and while we're reading books, I'm gonna produce a bonus video in the next couple of days on that particular topic and talk about exactly what reading does to you. But back to the novel. For those of you who actually read the novel, I got 3 questions for you. The first is on the risk and defiance. In the novel's harrowing climax, Vanessa directly disobeyed an order from Joanne in Mission Control to save her crew. Is this heroic conviction or reckless gamble? What does it say about rules versus human connection? That's question number 1. Question number 2 is the meaning of the 3 titles that I have mentioned earlier: physical, social, and emotional. Which one do you think proves to be the most dangerous frontier? And question number 3 is based on secrecy and agents. Joanne and Vanessa's relationship is built on hiding. Does that secrecy makes their bond stronger or more fragile? Would they have stayed together in a different time, a more accepting time, or does the threat of exposure actually fuel their commitment? That is a very difficult question. I think the third question is very, very interesting. So please, I would love to hear your thoughts on those questions. Please leave your comments in the comment section down below. Here's what I thought about the novel. Atmosphere is a bold, beautifully departure from Taylor Jenkins Reid's previous novels. It is slower and more technically demanding than her previous works, but is also richer and far more emotionally complex. If you love character-driven literary thriller fiction, if you are fascinated by space exploration, or if you just want a forbidden love romance that refuses to define by tragedy, read this book. I cannot recommend this book highly enough. I have been really lucky in 2026 to only encounter 2 terrible books. All the other ones has been exceptional, and Atmosphere is definitely one of the top books that I have read this year. I think this is perhaps even better than the Women of previous week's review. If you haven't watched it, please check them out after this video. But be prepared mentally that you will likely to feel emotionally drained, and you probably will cry at the end of this novel. Okay guys, so that is the end of this video. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumb up, share with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. And every week I will bring quality contents just like this one to your screen. So until next time guys, cheerio.